Over the course of this week, I had the pleasure of watching this movie, The Banker. It is a story of two African American men. Why am I talking like that? I don't know. But anyway, it's a story, like I'm reading a synopsis. Anyway, it's a story of two African American men during Jim Crow as they fight for equal housing opportunity in the city of Los Angeles. And their efforts were successful. At their peak, they owned over 177 buildings in the city of Los Angeles alone. And over the course of the movie, I was like, wow, this is great. Look what they're doing. This is so great. But it also made me think, why does one person need to own so much? I just kept thinking to myself, wow, they have all these housing. How come they can't just, give the housing, like, okay, we live in our capitalist system, right? Why not, if all those tenants are like black, right? And you want to make it more viable for people to have access to housing, why not give like the tenants or the people that live in those places like a piece of ownership so that it's like theirs? Like they can't be kicked out because it's theirs. They can never be removed because their name is on the deed, their name is on the lease or whatever. And like 177 buildings owned by one person is a lot, right? These are the actual two men. This is what they actually looked like. They're played by Anthony Mackie and Samuel L. Jackson. The reason I bring it up is because even though he was fighting for equal housing opportunities and access to capital, also in the movie, they go on to become bankers and they own at least 4 banks. And it goes to this whole thing why people don't want them owning banks, yada, yada, yada. They go to jail and spend some time, and it's a whole thing. My point is, even with all his good efforts, at the end of the day, he was still a landlord. And if somebody didn't pay their rent, he was probably going to kick them out and let somebody else stay there. But I say all that, and that brings me to my final point. This. Elon Musk is trying to build a company town in some city in Texas. Reading here, company towns aren't new, and it's always about the same strategy, tying people's employment to literally every part of their livelihood so they're primed for exploitation. It's a terrible thing, and it is a very terrible thing. And it just makes me think, why have we allowed not we, because we didn't create the fucking system. We just born into it and we live under it. But how was something like this, like if you think about it, one person, like how does one person own a fucking state or city or like you can't like how do you control all this shit? It's mind-boggling. Like it doesn't even make sense on any level. Like logically it don't make sense. Strategically it don't make sense. But anyway, one of my favorite creators on this app, damn, I need to find that video. Anyway, Crutches and Spice, Imani, somebody asked a question. They're like, damn, what's going to happen when rent is too high for anybody to afford? And one of the things that Imani said was that when rent gets too high for anybody to afford, companies are going to start buying property. And as a part of your employment, you're going to be able to have access to housing. So housing is no longer like private. Like nobody, like you're not renting an apartment you're renting an apartment. You're getting an apartment for the work that you do. Like it's still like that today with the prices and everything. But like now it's not separate anymore. If you don't have a job, your housing is taken away. Okay, so I wanted to clarify my last point. This is after I've edited everything else. But what I know that like when we lose our jobs now, we lose access to our housing because we don't have the money to pay for it. But if the companies that we go to work for every day also own the housing, it's going to be much more dangerous. And what I mean by that is, okay, you have your employment package that includes housing. So does everyone else. And it's going to be a system where we're not allowed to support each other in fear of losing what we already have. So you won't be able to go to your buddy's house and say, hey, can I crash here? Because they're going to have rules about occupancy. And if you disobey those rules, you're out of there. And so what Elon Musk is trying to do, it's a very fucking dangerous game. And that's why I say nobody should, like, ownership at this kind of level should not be allowed. It's fucking wicked. It's wicked as hell. And Have y'all seen videos of this motherfucker? This is the creepiest motherfucker alive. If you've ever watched any video of this man, he is a creepy... Words I can't say because he's creepy. All right. But anyway, capitalism's bad. Ownership at this kind of level is bad. Everybody should just own their stuff. Why does somebody else own the place that I'm dwelling in? First of all, how do you own something that you don't even use? But if anybody's going to be the owner, shouldn't it be like the people who dwell in the space? I don't know.